We are very pleased to honor Mr. Tom Akers as Southeastern's 2018 Alumnus of the Year.
Baseball legend Yogi Berra was renowned for his famous quotes, such as, "It ain't over till it's over," or "Nobody goes there since everybody goes there." Well, the one quote that resonates in my mind tonight is, "When you come to a fork in the road, take it." Well, due to a number of circumstances, a very naive, troubled, and marginal high school graduate came to a little that he knew, very big fork in the road in the summer of 1965, and he took it. Fortunately, the fork that he chose led him to Hammond, Louisiana, and Southeastern actually accepted him. So I arrived at Southeastern in 1965 as a directionless 17-year-old child. And by the time I returned after military service and completed my MBA in 1973, I began my career as a determined adult. I was armed with a strong foundation, greatly influenced by the education and experiences from Southeastern, and a belief that anything was possible if I worked hard enough in the capitalistic system of our great nation. You heard Beth tell you a little bit about my career in life since leaving Southeastern in 1973. I've certainly been fortunate with my family, career, and health. I can tell you that the days were long, but the years moved awfully fast. Always at my side during this entire period is my best friend, the mother of our children, and my wife, Jane, who's also a Southeastern alumnus, and oh, by the way, not only my sweetheart, but the sweetheart of KDT fraternity. We're blessed with two wonderful daughters who married two great son-in-laws, and we have, for all the grandparents in the audience, 5 perfect grandchildren. So during the 45 years that's passed since my departure from Southeastern, a lot changed in my life and the world. One thing that unfortunately did change was my connection to Southeastern. Southeastern faded from my rearview mirror as the geographic distance and time demands of family and career took precedent. However, a few years ago, I received a phone call from none other than Wendy Lauderdale, who asked if she could come by my office in St. Louis and bring me up to date on what was going on at Southeastern. For those of you who don't know Wendy, you should, as she is Southeastern's Vice President of University Advancement. How could I say no to such a nice person? We met, and she convinced me to stop by Southeastern during my next trip to Louisiana to visit my mother. She arranged for a tour of the campus for Jane and myself. The tour took place, and we were well received by Wendy, Dr. Crane, Dr. Phillips, and many others. It was during this return to Southeastern and Hammond that Jane and I had an epiphany of coming home to our roots and the start of our life together. 202 North Pine, lower apartment, $65 a month, I was telling someone. This is the most important part of this. Southeastern took me in, accepted me when I was not successful and had nothing. It was my degrees from Southeastern which allowed me to get my nose under the tent of a career which I would successfully spend the next 40+ years. I now realize that without taking that fork in the road to Southeastern, my life would have been dramatically different. My marriage to Jane may not have happened, which would mean our 2 wonderful daughters and 5 perfect grandchildren would not exist. My ability to start a career would have been significantly changed, and therefore all would be different, including the great honor being bestowed on me tonight and the weekend. As you know from my introduction, I'm also an alumnus of Harvard University's Business School, of which I'm very appreciative. However, here's the difference. Harvard took me in when I was successful, and they wouldn't have given me a second thought in 1965. Therefore, I owe a lot to Southeastern, and Jane and I hope we will be able to begin paying back to the university and give others the opportunity we were given. I would implore other alumni who, like myself, may have forgotten how Southeastern affected your life, to reflect on your life and how different it may have been if Southeastern had not accepted you when you came to your proverbial fork in the road. I know I'm preaching to the choir tonight, and I know I'm late coming to the party in the cause, but fellow alumni, please consider giving back by becoming involved with your university through joining the Alumni Association, volunteering, and donating, so the next generation of graduates will have the same opportunities we had. My mother, who passed away last year, used to pontificate about how fortunate she was in her humble life. She would proclaim to anyone who would listen, and she was a teacher, so she had a lot of people who would listen to her all day long. She would say, "I was born an Irish Catholic American. What more could anyone ask of God?" If she were here tonight, I would tell her that I would add an additional request in her proclamation to the Lord. If I were able to go back at my birth, I would have to say, "Please, Lord, in addition to my mother's heritage, allow me to be a proud Southeastern Lion alumnus." And thankfully, I am. Thank you all for your attention.